Hey up team, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. So I've been using organ meat for, well, ever since I was a kid, to be honest. I'm from Devon originally, and we were subjected to a lot of good produce down there. Whether that be with, some of my mates, they were dairy farmers, so I was able to drink a lot of raw milk or just milk, and utilised a lot of organ meat throughout my career with different athletes to normal everyday people, and everybody always asks, how the fuck do you figure this out? Now it looks pretty brutal, I'll admit, but beef heart is one of the most nutritious pieces of meat that you can get. So I'm going to basically butcher it up and try and talk about it a little bit while I go through it. So the most important part to start with really is having a sharp knife. Luckily enough, I come pretty well prepared. This bad boy was a very nice gift from some friends of mine. So the heart. The best thing about heart really for me, as a dog owner, as a dog father, is that none of it goes to waste. So me and my wife will have around about 300 grams between us a day, maybe even a little bit more. And the dogs have nothing else in their diet apart from beef heart, because it's full of fat, it's full of meat, it's full of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and everything that comes in between. So how do you butcher it? Okay, so the easiest way is basically to think about it like a potato, I would say. I like to kind of cut off all of the bigger bits of fat, and then with this I would cut it down the middle, and then I would shave off the ventricles and all of that. And the best bit is the boys will always be watching me while I'm doing it. Big fan? What about the other one? Hank? Whoopah. And so as we're going to cut through it, you'll see it actually turns into pretty much like a minute steak, and it's the leanest cut of meat that you can actually get, I would say, because once you've cut all the fat off, it is pretty much just the heart that's left. So why heart, I hear you ask? So with heart, you've got a few different things in it. You've got things like iron, selenium, CoQ10. But what are all these things, I hear you ask? So we as human beings seem to be getting very, very used to taking multivitamins and all these other bullshit supplements, which, to be honest, if you understand the words bioavailability, which is definitely something you should look up, you'll understand that it's not really, if you take a vitamin D supplement, doesn't mean that you've actually taken on that amount of vitamin D that's come from the supplement, because your digestion plays a part, your nutrient uptake as an individual takes a part. If you've been in the sunshine, that will take a part. Like, there's so many different factors, but when it comes to eating proper food, this is like a multivitamin. I love a little bit of liver as well, but generally, people find it quite difficult to eat liver because it's very, very strong in flavour. And I can understand that. Some things I like to do with my clients is very much talk to them about maybe freezing it into little 10-gram pieces, so you can have it like a tablet in a way. You can make it into liver pate, which is also really, really easy, which one of my clients has made me recognise recently. But all of that, as a cut-off, goes into a bowl, and the dogs will eat that, and that's their food for, what do they do, about a day, one? Yeah, about the off-cuts. Maybe it will last them 2 days. But again, I'm in Spain, and over here, we hear about $4.50 a kilo. And for me and the wife, like I say, we love it. We go through it ourselves, but then also doubles up as dog food. And I've got 2 French bulldogs had no medication ever in their lives. And my oldest, Cash, walked with a boys club that I've got up on the Pyrenees for 2-3 days. And we covered around about 45, 50, maybe, yeah, 45, 50K. Not bad for an 8-year-old French bulldog. That's for sure. So again, bosh, 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 easy work in there. Okay, so just working through what is CoQ10. Right, when we look at that, they love it. All of this, bosh. So what is CoQ10? So CoQ10 is an antioxidant. You can't really get it in a lot of other foods, and it really helps with that energy production. And when I'm talking about energy production, it's quite apparent if you go on to, you know, get some of this in your diet on the regular, and then you don't have it for a couple of days. Excuse me, sorry, it's fucking cold outside. Then you will notice a difference, and that's for me 100%. And other clients, I'm sure, will comment on this video, I hope, mentioning that fact. So you see that? So that there was kind of, as the heart goes in, it's generally got a bit of a gap in between the heart itself. So I would always just cut through that, and it opens up, so you follow it down the actual heart itself. And then as you cut that bit off, this is always incredibly difficult to shred up because it's so thin. But one amazing thing that I love to do with it is fry it off on top of a salad, which is a bit like crispy beef, you know, like you get in a lot of Asian dishes. But you have to be a little bit of a seasoned veteran when it comes to the butchery. So you see that bit there? It's a bit difficult, but if you've got a nice sharp knife, you can literally just shave it off like that. And if you get a silly hot pan with some beef tallow, some ghee, some butter, and you just chuck that in, bosh, like super hot, and then you cut it up and you put it on top of a salad, banging. What was I talking about? CoQ10, that was a good one. But then also, what else has it got? So vitamin D is something that people are trying to look for everywhere in the world at the moment, and they're just looking at all these silly little supplements which don't really do a lot, unless you're obviously enjoying the sun and eating your mushrooms and all the other bits and bobs. But a great thing when it comes to, sorry, I'll keep on cutting as I go, is with beef heart, we've got many different vitamin profiles, things like vitamin K, which also helps with energy production, and it's just got this plethora really of unbelievable vitamins and minerals, and things like zinc and iron, which you're just not going to be able to get from supplements. They're not really being able to get it in a way that is bioavailable. So you've got your GI tract, so you've got your gastrointestinal tract. We call it an elementary canal, and I like to explain it to people when I'm coaching them about how to think about the digestive system. When you put something in your mouth, it's like being born. So it's like the start of going to school. So you've been born, you go to school, you start chewing it in your mouth, and the enzymes come out, and then you start thinking, right, okay, cool, now I want to go to secondary school. So then you go down the esophagus and you go into the stomach, just under here. And in this stomach, that then will start breaking down your food. But then it goes off into your small intestine, which will break down the actual food itself and put that into your bloodstream. Then it goes into your large intestine, and that then takes out the water of your food, and that will go into your system. And then it will come out, obviously, going down towards your poop hole. Perfect. So if you can imagine, it's going like food goes through all that process. If you're just putting a tablet in every day and expecting it to do something, it kind of seems a bit bonkers. So again, beef heart, full of these wonderful things. And I cannot honestly recommend it more. And you see how easy it is to butcher up. So I did get some questions, which I wanted to go through. Okay. Because this stuff is important. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the in social media right now where people are talking about carnivore and the liver king and all that other bollocks. You don't need to go crazy. Just having 150 grams of this every day will make a big difference. So, does it actually boost your energy system, Matt? Okay, so it's got abundance of vitamin B in it, especially B12. Which you're not going to be able to get from plants, you're not going to be able to get from a lot of other things. And taking a tablet, again, isn't really going to be that bioavailable. So yes, 100%. And if you take it for, I'd say, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks, and then don't, and then stop for a couple of days, and really think to yourself, how do you feel? And I promise you, you will definitely feel the difference. What are the main benefits? For specific conditions? Yeah, so I think the most important thing is like things like anemia. Even when you're pregnant, you know, I'm not telling you to eat this whilst you're pregnant. That's not really the done thing apparently. But ladies, when you're pregnant, need certain vitamins and minerals, and especially when you're going through your menstrual cycle, all this other stuff. So you cannot honestly get that much more nutrient dense food than a heart. And I'm going to stop banging on about heart. I've pretty much butchered this all. The dogs are happy. We will just fry these off for breakfast like a minute steak. So just job done. Everybody's happy in the family, and I've saved some money in the process. Have a wonderful fucking day. If you've got any questions, please leave them below. What do you reckon, boys? Good video? Perfect.